steering into your left, and you're gonna give it just enough throttle so that the back tires kick out. All right, so we got this Mustang for the day. We borrowed it, and we're gonna go have some fun in it and teach you guys how to drift the automatic. You have to go so fast. Oh my gosh. You have to go so fast! So obviously we're out here drifting a borrowed car and we don't want to kill the tires that are on it. It might look suspicious. So we went ahead and got some Nitto tires and DRIFZ wheels to put on there. These are a super affordable wheel that has like a good design and also has good offsets, and it's pretty lightweight as well. And then we mounted some Nitto tires on it, and the big thing here is to have a tire that's reliable and doesn't fall apart. You can spend less money on a like inferior tire, but you might get to the track and only get a few laps out of them before they fall apart. So these Nittos really take an extreme abuse, a lot of heat, and with a stock car at full weight, we needed a tire that was going to supply good grip and be easy to drive to teach you guys. So we also went to AutoZone and picked up some Duralast brake pads. These are the new GT model they sold me on there. It's got like carbon brake pads and some V-groove, as well as like the big thing is not putting racing pads on a car that you're going to go drifting with because you want a low operating temperature. These have a lower operating temperature. You can put these in your car and leave them in when you drive back and forth to the track kind of thing for daily driving and going to the track. This might not be an insane race pad that's going to take you to win championships, but this is like what you need for going to local drift events and having a good time. I think that it says something about a 1200 degree temperature being the hot spot for them, so pretty much you can run these up to be pretty hot without having any brake fade or anything. So our main goal here with putting these on here was the stock brake pads weren't really good enough to use the handbrake with the automatic and whatnot. So putting these on there gave us the extra brakes that we needed to throw the car around and have some fun and not get such a crazy gnarly arm workout. Oh no, not a good time. Gotta find the nearest AutoZone. Oh no, those are not gonna work. All right, well, that's why I tried to do this early. Shit. All right, so we're running to AutoZone real quick to get some lug nuts because I oversaw the fact that the wheels are not gonna fit on the car with the factory lug nuts. I wonder if they have more back there. So we had to go in the back and kind of find them, and the lady was nice enough to let us go that way, so we ended up scooping them up. That's my brother, Desi. He's got the lug nuts. Hopefully they work. There's some spline drive dealios, so it looks like they will. Hopefully we can get these wheels on this car and go have some fun in it. You good? Okay, cool. Alright, so first thing we're going to teach you how to do with this automatic is to do a burnout. It's super easy. You're going to turn all the traction control and the advanced track off. On this car, you would obviously hold up on that button and unlock that. We've also gone as far as removing the ABS fuses and the wheel speed sensors in the back to try to get this thing as loose as possible. And what you're going to do is hold the brake down with moderate pressure and give it some gas, and it'll start spinning the tires. And you just want to make sure you're only holding the brake enough so that your car is not moving. And then you just get on the gas and you rev the car up to do the burnout. And that's how you do an automatic burnout. Alright, so now we're going to do some donuts. And in this thing, we're going to leave it in first gear for the donuts and go around these 4 cones that are right here on my left. So you're going to drive in with your circle, you're steering into your left, and you're going to give it just enough throttle so that the back tires kick out. And then counter steer. And in my other series, you'll see, with the How to Drift series, you'll steer left to add angle, and you'll steer right to remove angle. Okay? And you're just keeping enough throttle so that your revs are spinning the tires all the time. So in this particular car, we're staying above 4,000, and we are making sure the car is staying in boost in this little EcoBoost motor. If I give it more throttle and get more wheel speed, I have to take away some angle, but it will make me go wider. And then if I let off the throttle and steer in, it will allow me to tighten up on these cones really tight. And then more throttle, and it kicks me out. And this is nice because it's just like a manual car when you're doing this. It's no different. So if you've seen our other How to Drift series, that's pretty much the same thing. Whew, that was a lot of donuts. I'm getting dizzy. All right, so now the other difference is when you're doing a figure eight in this car, you can't use the clutch at all. There's no clutch to use. So you're going to use mostly your on throttle by getting on the gas and creating extra horsepower and spinning the tires. It's wet out right now, so that's pretty easily to do. So what we'll do in this case is we'll go ahead and shift to second gear. We'll come into the turn and use a little bit of a Scandinavian flick. You'll steer right and then left, and it kicks the rear out. You'll counter steer, and you'll just keep that throttle really happy, and you'll keep counter steering similar to the other one. So again, I steer left, I remove angle. I steer right, I add angle. When you do the transition, you're gonna have to feed the wheel or you're gonna spin. See how we just actually spun out? So in an automatic car, most of these cars, especially the Mustang, they don't have a lot of self-steer, and you can't use the clutch. So you have to be quick with your steering and gas. The nice thing about that is you're really just only focusing on your throttle and your steering. You don't have to worry about the clutch. You don't have to worry about shifting gears. You're just using whatever gear you're in, and you're locking it in that gear. So in this case, we're using second. So what we're going to do again, same type of thing. We're going to go in second gear, and we're going to steer right and then left so it upsets the car and transfers the weight. So we're going to go right and then left. It's going to kick the back end out. We're going to counter steer just like in our donut. And we're going to flick again and be very quick on the steering. So watch my transition here. And I'm going to go really quick with my hands on the steering wheel. If you try to do a self-steer, it's not quite going to work. So you have to, again, really quick on the steering wheel so that you always are adding angle back and saving yourself from spinning. So that's basically how to do a figure eight. First turn, handbrake, ready to go, steer right, upset, pull the handbrake. We're going to do the same thing. I'll teach you guys one more time, but we're going to use the handbrake now. So basically with the handbrake, with the automatic transmission, is you don't have to use the clutch. But you got to work the handbrake quite a bit harder because you're trying to lock the wheels up with the force of the transmission behind it. So what we're going to do is drive into this turn just like we did before with the weight transfer, but we're going to pull the handbrake. And it's very important to pull the handbrake at the correct time. And how you feel that is, we're going to be making a left turn here. So basically, we're going to steer a little bit to the right to go out to the cones where we want to enter the car. And then we're going to pull the handbrake as we steer left. But what we're going to do is, when we're steering left, we're going to wait until we feel pressure on our bodies on the side. So basically, when you feel that weight transferring the car to the other direction, that's when you want to pull the handbrake, because that's the best chance to rotate the car around. So if you think, when you're driving into the turn straight, and then you turn left, the back of the car starts rolling over. As soon as you feel that weight and that pressure on your right side, do a quick handbrake pull to snap the car to about half of your steering angle. When the car's at half of its steering angle, you're going to get on throttle, and you're going to drive through the rest of the turn similar to how we did the donut, and then do the transition like I was telling you to feed the wheel. So we're going to come into this first turn, steer right a little bit, left handbrake, and then gas. And we're using our throttle the same way as we were before. We're steering, and we're going to go back, and we're going to do back through here again, e-brake, and then gas again. An important thing in the transition is to feel it. So we're turning right, I feel the pressure here. I flick back the other direction, I feel the pressure here.